Welcome to Voices of Medfield, a Medfield TV original podcast brought to you by the MFI Legacy Fund. I'm your host, Katie Duval. Voices of Medfield highlights the stories of the people who have woven their lives into the fabric of the community. They are the friends you made in school, the business owners who greet you each morning, and the families who've built their lives here. 2026 not only marks the 250th anniversary of the United States, but it also represents the 375th anniversary of the incorporation of the town of Medfield. Last year, a small group of residents saw the need to mark this moment in their town's history. And so, they joined forces to create the Medfield 375th Anniversary Celebration and Parade Committee. In this episode, I am joined by three members of the committee, Jerry Kazanjian, Marion Benoldi, and Bob Costello. These individuals play a key role in the development of the anniversary parade and celebration coming up on Saturday, October 17th, 2026. Organizing an event of this magnitude takes a village, so stay tuned to learn how you can help them bring this celebration to fruition. Now, let's hear the committee's story on Voices of Medfield. Hi, Medfield. I'm here with the Medfield 375th Anniversary Parade and Celebration Committee. So let's go through and you all can tell us your names and how you're involved in the committee. So, Jerry, let's start with you.
Okay. My name is Jerry Kazanjian. I got involved with the committee because I was a high school band director for 36 years in Holliston and loved parades. And I thought maybe my expertise in marching bands and whatnot would be helpful. So I volunteered.
Wonderful. Marion?
My name is Marion Benoldi, and I am the elected town clerk in Medfield. So when the opportunity came up, and I was hearing that there was going to be a committee for the 375th, I wanted to get involved with the celebration.
Great. And Bob?
I'm Bob Costello, and I was asked by Marion. I've had the opportunity to work with Marion on a few occasions in the past. I've enjoyed that. And also, I'm one of those people who, for quite some time in life, I was involved in certain things, but not so much focused on the town. And this was a great opportunity not only to be involved in the town, but also I do enjoy the history of the town. And goodness gracious, it is very rich. And so this is an opportunity to actually take a deeper dive and also celebrate the past, the present, and hopefully we can then build on the future.
So you all are members of the Medfield community. You all live here in town for, a various number of years. I won't age anyone, but
48.
Okay, yeah. If we're being forthcoming.
Marion's got me beat though.
Yep.
So tell us who else is on the committee and why are they involved in the committee as well?
So it is Jerry, Bob, and myself. There is also Tracy Clank, who works with, she's our election warden here in Medfield. And Tracy is just one of those people that gets things done.
She's awesome.
She's just unbelievable. She can get things done. She can multitask. She's the person you ask her to do something and you don't have to remember it again. Molly Sliney is also on our committee. Molly's been involved in all kinds of different communities, different committees and things like that in Medfield, whether it's the sheets of the flower and plants gardening committee. And she also works with us at our elections. She's the assistant warden at the Medfield elections. And then Bill Southwick, who I've also had the pleasure with of working at our elections. When this committee came up and Tracy and I were trying to figure out who to outreach to, we had Jerry, we had the expertise, and we were trying to outreach to people and know the personality of the people that work at our elections. So we were asking essentially the people that we know love working for the town, about the town, and our people and all of that nature.
Yeah.
So
and how this committee came together is kind of unique. So Marion, tell us a little bit about that process. And it started as a town committee, but now it's part of Medfield Foundation. So tell us about that process.
Right. So I believe it was it last summer, last spring? I'm having a hard time remembering exactly the date, but the town, Jerry had kind of put a bug in the select board's ear
Right.
about, hey, this is coming up. We might want to get something together. And then I knew from watching the select board meeting that the town, Medfield town proper itself, was giving a $15,000 donation to the committee for this parade. So at the time, the select board appointed Tracy and myself and Jerry to be the chairs or whatever you want to call it for this committee. So it was an appointed board. And where I'm an elected official, it made things a little bit simpler in terms of that I don't work for Christine Treeweiler, the town administrator. I'm kind of a step back from the HR perspective of things. So they asked me to kind of get it going. I brought in this incredible team. And then as we were starting to get our feet under us with fundraising and planning and things of that nature, it became, and we were speaking with other towns that had gone through different parade processes and things of that nature. It had became abundantly clear that for a lot of reasons that we needed to separate from the town and not be appointed, but be strictly a volunteer committee. So that's what we did. I want to say we did that probably in the fall of last year. And we've been moving forward as a strictly volunteer committee since then.
Right.
And at that point, we were reaching out to Medfield Foundation to ask to become one of their initiatives so that they could handle or help us with the fiscal responsibilities of that, just as they do for the Angel Run and different things that they do around town.
It's great that we have that that organization in
absolutely.
town that can really help with initiatives like this that are kind of ad hoc or may not be able to become a true nonprofit yet. It's great that we have them to help out.
They've been wonderful.
Yeah. So let's talk about the past a little bit. So it seems like we've had a parade roughly every 25 years, and this one is especially special, but we'll get to that. So let's talk first about the 350th celebration in town. So Bob, I know you were there. So tell us, what it was like, and were you involved in coordinating it or involved in any of the aspects of
Sure.
that parade?
Sure, Katie. So first of all, parades are great. They're fun, they're loud, they're joyous. It brings people together, allows us to actually see people who we haven't seen in a long time, and also to build new friends. And the sirens going off, and the bands, and the clowns. It was a great day, and also that evening. I can remember that it was a formal dinner dance evening, and it was wonderful to be able to waltz around the floor with all these delightful young ladies and have good meals. And Lucille Fisher is a great dancer.
I was going to ask who your dance partner was, so now I know.
She's gonna love that.
Lucille. I'm going to specifically tell her to watch this. And where was that dance?
So it was actually next to the Meeting House Pond. There was a large tent, beautifully lit,
Yeah.
great band, super music, wonderful food. And just, community is so important because, what makes a healthy town? It's relationships with people. It's
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And when you get people together and you ask for help, great things happen. And you ask for more help, more people come, and more great things happen.
For sure. So let's talk about the community. What was it like 25 years ago in Medfield?
Much different than today.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah. I really believe that there was more. Well, first of all, my family was younger then, and we were involved more in all types of activities in town, whether it be scouts or sports in the church. And I think there was an attitude of let's do this together type of thing, and rather than see you later, it's the weekend. But I also remember how 4th of July, the town just ceased to exist for a while.
Closed down. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but it was a slower pace. I think it was a slower pace.
Yeah.
It was calmer. Yeah.
That's probably true for most towns. The world has just changed a little bit,
Oh,
whether it's social media and technology and people wanting things instantly or whatever it is. And then COVID, kind of isolated us for a little
Right.
while there. And we're trying to that's part of the objective of this parade and the celebration that we're doing, and the magnitude of that is we want to get, to Bob's point, like people out in front of people and people coming together, and that sense of community that I grew up with here. And it's just kind of getting everybody out and, not saying, hope you have a great weekend. It's no, come into the center of town, hang out. But it's, it's a lot to organize events like these, and it's a lot to get people together, and hopefully it'll snowball. Hopefully it'll snowball out, that it can kind of be the start of a trajectory of getting Medfield back to everybody wanting to be with each other and being in the center of town. And
Right.
it's just a different world that we live in. When I was a kid, it was, you'd wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and you'd come back when the streetlights came on. And it was, I'm in the center of town, and I'm hanging out at Lord's, and I'm meeting my friends at Royals and all of that stuff. And I think some of that is still the same, but it's just a little different world. People are on their phones. Things are a little more
Right.
singular.
Yeah,
So that's not the spirit of Medfield, though.
Right.
The
So there
Medfield
was
is
really
being together.
that sense of community all those years ago. And tell us about, what happened during the parade that day? Like, who was involved? What kind of groups were there? Do we have any returning groups this year?
Well, I looked at the roster from 25 years ago, and we have the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, the Cub Scouts, but we also have two bands. The Colonial Pipers out of Norwood, from which Bob Meany, our former chief of police, was part of.
Oh, wow.
And also a great group, Connecticut, the Ancient Mariners. These guys are dressed up like pirates, and it's a drum and fife corps, and they drag this cannon along with them, and every once in a while they'll fire the cannon off, and some of the guys actually march barefoot
Oh, my goodness.
as pirates would,
Yeah.
Not behind the horses, please.
No, they're strategically placed.
Definitely, yeah. So those two groups will be back.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about this year's parade and what you all are doing to prepare for it.
And one other thing,
oh, yeah,
that
go ahead.
25 years ago,
Yeah.
it poured rain.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
really?
yeah, it was just a downpour. This is what I was told, and they kind of really put a damper on things.
Probably,
damp, for
probably
sure.
attendees,
Well,
right?
but
yeah.
a parade is a parade.
It is.
Parade
It
is
went
a
on.
parade.
It went on.
Absolutely, rain or shine.
Rain or shine,
And-
it went
and-
on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
having
it will
that.
here too. But we're gonna have a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We will.
We're gonna have a gorgeous day.
That's right.
We
Knock
will,
on
we will.
wood.
So let's talk about this year and what makes, our 375th anniversary so special, compared to the U.S.
Right. Well, I mean, one of the reasons, so our 375 happens to be falling on the year of America's 250th, which is another reason why we wanted to make the parade the magnitude that it was, or at least I did. I wanted America to be a part of that celebration as well, but the focus is Medfield. And this parade is, the parades that have been in Medfield lately have been absolutely wonderful, but I want the parade from when I was a kid. I want the covering my ears for sirens. I want listening to bands. I want the entertainers. And that is the vision of this. It's more magnitude of what we've been used to lately. And I think it's falling on a perfect year where it's America's birthday as well. But I really do want everybody to understand that this is not the parades that we've been used to in the last decade anyway.
Yeah.
What makes it so different? What makes it so special?
Big. It's
Yeah.
going to be big.
Big.
Yeah, a lot more bands.
Yep.
And I mean, what good is a parade without a band, right?
I agree with that.
Otherwise, it's just a walk. But we have our Medfield High School band coming back, and then we have a great group. I mentioned the Mass Maritime Academy. They're coming up. The North Star Drum and Bugle Corps. They're out of Lynn.
They're great.
Most drum and bugle corps kids, 18, 21, by the time they're 22, 20, they drop out. This group is all those dropouts who are now 40, 50, 60 years old, and they're still marching, and they're wonderful. And they're coming. I mentioned the Colonial Pipers. We got Marlborough High School. Marlborough High School has a wonderful marching band, and also Acton Boxborough High School. Two towns you would say, wow, really? Yeah, they're fantastic bands. They're coming. I've got the UMass band out of Lowell, UMass band from Lowell. I mentioned the Ancient Mariners, the Highland Light Drum and Bugle Corps out of Cape Cod. The Worcester Fire Brigade, another drum and bugle corps. And we have the Shriners Clowns.
Of course. They're so
Gotta
fun.
have the Shriners Clowns. One of those clowns was a former student of my wife's.
Yeah?
Yeah, and he's the boss clown. And we would see him every once in a while at a parade. We go to parades all the time because I love parades. And whenever he was around, I'll call him and he'd come over and give my wife a big hug. So he'll be there. And we have the Cycling Murrays. This is a group of a family that ride those big high wheel bicycles, and bicycle goes up and down, and small bikes, and it's a family group, and it's just amazing what they can do. And they're juggling and playing fife on unicycles. Great group. We have the National Lancers, which is the governor's honor guard on horseback. They're coming. We have our Clydesdales pulling the wagon. Got to have Clydesdales. And we have a special group coming up from Philadelphia, a Mummers Band. Have you ever seen the Mummers with their fantastic costumes and the banjos and the accordions? And it's just a great group. And they're coming up from Philadelphia. And we have Corvette Club, Motorcycle Club, Antique Cars, National Park Service horses. We have a couple of dance academies. And like I mentioned, we have all the scouts and town elected officials and Lions and veterans. So we got quite a spread of people. And then we got some special characters coming for the kids.
Who do we have?
Yeah, Thor, Wonder Woman, Captain Jack Sparrow, Batman, Spider-Man, Bluey, and Elsa.
I can't
So
wait for
they'll all be
Bluey.
there.
Bluey's my favorite.
And there'll be an opportunity to take pictures with the camera afterwards.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Great.
That's wonderful.
And then after the parade, we're going to be having a celebration at Town Pond that Bell Forge will be helping us out with, which will have food trucks and drink and bands, and so people can spend the day in town.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love how it's a full day event and it's really so immersive.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So what does it take to put something like this together?
It's
A lot of
it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
which we have been fundraising for a while now, and everybody has been so incredibly generous. We are still looking for more funds. We're very, very close to our goals. So it takes a lot of money. It takes, a good group of people that are willing to have a lot of conversation, are willing to put their feet to the ground and get things done. But everybody's incentive is the same. It's all about for the love of Medfield and the love of the community and the people here. So I can speak for myself that I've been having a good time with the planning. I mean, everybody has 9,000 things going on in
Of
their
course.
life, and this is obviously another addition to it. But thankfully, it's a really good group, and we have a lot of laughs. And the main thing is our objectives are all the same. So forward motion seems to be simpler because we're all aligned. So
And we've gotten great cooperation from the town, from the chief of police, the fire chief. Everybody's been very cooperative. With
DPW, fantastic.
And like Mary mentioned earlier, Tracy, I asked Tracy for something, boom, it's done before I finished asking for it. She's fantastic.
She's good.
She is.
She's just so it's. But the money is important.
Right.
A lot of people think these high school bands come for nothing. They have busing expenses, and buses aren't cheap. So there are expenses there for the bands, but they're worth it.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
like I said,
Well, and a lot of these schools, I believe, like their music program suffers, in terms of funding, and them marching and having these successful parades is another way for the music.
Yeah, you're supporting
to
arts.
support the
Sure.
exactly. So that's the point of it as well. So fundraising is something we're looking for right now. We are starting to look for volunteers. We need. We're going to need a lot of hands on deck. The parade that Jerry is spearheading is about 2 hours in length.
Wow.
Based on the research that I've done with other surrounding towns who have had parades of this magnitude, certainly not for 375, we're the oldest, but same type of venue. They said to anticipate at least 5,000 people, because other people from Medfield will come because it's going to be such an incredible parade. So we need a lot of hands on deck, and we're going to be outreaching to the community to get those. Jerry is looking specifically for 25 marshals. Is that what we're calling them? Marshals?
Marshals.
To help with the direction of the setup and the lineup of the parade itself. And then we just want everybody to know what this parade is. So to spread the word about it. Right. And we have a website, and I can always be found. I'm happy to talk about it whenever and get the word out.
Yeah. So you need help from the community to make this a possibility. Why now?
One of the things when we're doing fundraising or looking for donations or anything like that is I think people's knee jerk is, okay, I'll write them a check in August, or I'll deal with that later, or whatever. The reality is that we are planning and contracting and getting ready to pay people now. So the donations, I will accept any donation at any time. Let me say that. However, it would be more helpful to get funds now. So that's kind of the disconnect that I think some people have. And I would be having it too. It's nobody's fault. I'd be thinking, yeah, I'll be writing 9 million checks when my kids are getting ready to start school. I'll do that in September when I have my checkbook out. So when we're doing different mailings and putting different things out in social media and talking to different people about this, when we're saying we would really appreciate the money and the sponsorship now, there's a reason for that. We want to know that we can have this parade be everything that we want it to be. So I want everybody to be generous whenever they want to, but if you could be generous sooner rather than later, that would be beneficial from a planning perspective.
So, Jerry,
Yeah, Bob?
when you actually get these bands and clowns and Clydesdales, do you actually need to give them a deposit ahead of time so that you can secure them months ahead of time so they don't go to some other parade?
Some do request it, some don't. So that's another reason we need some of the money now.
Okay, so actually having people make their donations now will help us to provide a better quality parade so that we won't lose those great bands.
Yes. And
Okay.
there are, honestly, there's a couple of bands I'd love to have, but we only have so much money right now. And I don't feel comfortable spending money that we don't have. If we had more money, we could have more of everything.
But we need it now.
We need it now.
Right.
So parades have been a part of, the American tradition for hundreds of years. And, you're not starting from scratch. So did you pull inspiration from any other parades to make this one possible?
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, I watched a lot of parades on YouTube, and Rhode Island has more parades than I think than anybody else. And also, we are very historical Massachusetts, and every town around it is having parades. And my own experience in Holliston with their 250th, I went to see their 275th and their 275th. Excuse me. So, inspiration from other towns, yeah, especially what bands not to hire, and also how to keep things moving and how to get people involved. This is something we didn't touch on, but we're asking people, the businesses in town, if you've got a landscaping company or something, you want to put one of your trucks in advertising, here's a chance to advertise to 7,500 people. And we're asking a donation for that opportunity. But even then, we have opportunity there for advertising for a lot of the businesses here in town. Want to put a vehicle, APC, the ant people. They have a great truck. I love that
They do.
truck. All those ants. But they're
Gives
going to
you
be in the
creepy
parade.
crawlies.
They made a great donation, and they're going to be in the parade.
Yeah.
So we're reaching out to other businesses in town. They could make the right donation. You can have your truck in the town. Good advertising.
Oh, and kids love trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
That's
We'll have the fire trucks. We'll have the fire trucks. No question about that. And the police and all that. But businesses in town, we need them.
So, Jerry, as you're preparing to have bands in this parade, you can't have bands contacting you in September to get involved, right? There's some planning that needs to be done ahead of time. So tell me about that.
Okay. The whole idea of the logistics of lining this whole thing up is to have a band, some other marching units that aren't performing music, another band, a couple of units, so you spread the bands apart because the bands don't want to hear each other. So in that regards, we have to have enough units between the bands. We've got 11 bands right now, and I'm anticipating maybe a few more. And if we don't have floats and other marching units coming along, like even just the college group that you mentioned earlier, something like that. So yeah, I need to have that information now, because whether we have 5 divisions or 6 divisions, depending on the number of people, it all has to be laid out. And then the whole parking issue of it, and the logistics of setting up the staging areas in the high school and the middle school. Where do you put the bands, depending on the size and everything else? It's a lot of paperwork, so I need that information sooner than later.
Right. And there will be, at some point, there's going to have to be a cutoff of once Jerry feels that the parade is final and tight, and we have to make sure that our police and our fire and our DPW know about all that stuff. There's going to come a point where it's too late that you've asked Jerry to be in the parade. We can't get you in anymore. He'll extend that as long as he possibly can, but there's going to come a point where it's going to be too late. So reach out to us now if you're interested. Or even if you think you're going to be interested, reach out to us now.
It would be a heartbreak if you asked too late.
That's right.
And we're open to more groups who want to participate. I read a whole list of people who we've got in contact with, but there's room for a lot more. And we have one of the college groups.
Yeah, somebody reached out to me. There's a small group of people that I think they're all in like the same neighborhood. And ironically, I think they all went to Colgate.
That's
Is
correct.
that the college?
I think they're the same
They all went to
fraternity.
Colgate, and they all happen to be in the same fraternity. And
They all wound up in Medfield.
so they
Wow.
all wound up in Medfield, and they got this little group together. So they want to march in the parade,
I
which I
love
think
that.
is hysterical and
So if anybody wants to
fantastic.
compete with Colgate,
Yeah,
maybe some BC people.
Yeah, we've got a
or-
lot of BC in Medfield. We've got a lot of all different colleges.
Yeah.
But then, what are the other floats that we have? The Sustainable Committee reached out to me. There's, I believe, the Medfield Foundation wants to march about their other incentives that they support.
Parks and Recreation.
Park and Rec want to do some type of a float.
I think the
Garden
Scouts are going to
Continuum.
do a float, I think.
I'm sorry?
Gardening continuum.
The Guardian
Continuum.
Continuum, they are one of our sponsors that are assisting in beautifying a little bit prior to the parade. But they've been wonderful. So there's so many people that want to be a part of it and are coming out. And we're anticipating quite more. But to Jerry's point, anybody that's interested,
Yeah.
that is looking to how can I have my group, or if it's something like the Colgate group of there's actually just 5 of us and we all went to, some college someplace and we want to walk, that's fine too.
Maybe
And that
we
way
need
you
to
get
get
a-
them on a podcast.
Yeah.
And you also get a front row seat for the parade
Yes.
that particular day if you're
Yes.
if you're in the parade.
Yeah.
And where's that front row seat? Right at the town hall?
So,
Well-
yeah, I mean, you can talk about the route a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, let's hear about the route.
Well, the parade is the staging area is the high school and middle school parking lots. They're going to come out of the high school parking lot onto South Street, take a right, take a right onto Pound Street, so we go by Tilden Village. Then go all the way down to the Peak House, take a hard left onto 109, go all the way down to the center of town. We'll have our viewing stand, as we might call it, in front of the town hall area. They'll take a right on North Street, and we'll North Street and go up and finish up at Dale Street School.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that
Good.
route.
2 miles,
Yeah.
2-mile route.
At Town Hall, one of the incentives that we've been offering to a lot of our sponsors is if they sponsor at a particular tier or whatever, that they can have VIP seating at Town Hall. So there is going to be bleachers, for lack of a better word, there that will have some of our VIP sponsors. Scott McDermott, who is or was our former moderator but is still involved in the town, has agreed to be our MC of the event.
Oh, I
So
love that. He's going to be
yeah.
a perfect MC.
So Scott's going to be there, who will be announcing the different venues and bands and things of that nature.
So they'll stop and perform right to the bleachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
That type of
great.
thing.
So
That's
that will
great.
be where they stop and, the Dance Academy does
I
their
love
thing,
this.
or to
It's like
Jerry's direction.
It's like a Thanksgiving Macy's Day parade.
Exactly.
Right.
I love
And,
this.
and Marion, how do we find out more about the different sponsor tier levels?
Right. So all of the sponsor information, as well as the list of our wonderful sponsors that we've had so far already, we have a website, which is Medfield 375th Parade.com. They're all on there. Our sponsor tiers are on there. All information about how you can donate. If you want to be a sponsor, it is all on the website.
And you're getting more and more sponsors every day, which is
are.
great to see.
We
And
are.
also, are those donations tax deductible?
Oh, yes, sir, they are. You would make your donation directly to the Medfield Foundation, who is assisting us with the fiscal piece of it, and they are tax deductible, as allowed by law.
Great, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Bob.
Great. So many incentives for those sponsors.
Right, and there are incentives, and there'll be more. We also have a merch store. That you can buy some of these fancy shirts and things like
hats.
that.
So I know you love wearing your apparel. What else do you love about organizing this event? What makes it fun for you?
It's all about the people. We get together. Jerry and I have had a relationship for well over 30 years. And so when
You're twins, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we've been
are.
friends a long time.
And so when I found out that he was on the committee, I knew that we were actually going to have a really wonderfully focused music and artistic strong element to the parade itself. And Jerry and I, we have a lot of fun with each other, and certainly working with the rest of the group, been able to actually learn what some of their interests are. And there's one fellow who actually is quite an outdoors person, and he's been able to share quite significantly with me in that regard, because I have that common interest. But we have fun working together, and to be able to reach out to others in the community, and hopefully that day they'll see old friends, and then also make new friends that then will also build for a stronger community in the future.
I love that, and I've certainly made new friends meeting all of you
Thank
and
you, Katie.
helping you out with this promotional part of this parade as well. So it's been really nice, and there'll be time for you to hang out and celebrate with friends after the parade too,
Yes.
right? So tell us a little bit more about the after party.
So that's going to be at Town Pond. Jean Minio of Bell Forge and team has been so kind about stepping in to help us with that piece of it, only because our particular group is so focused on the parade right now and the logistics of that. So we've met with Jean and Bell Forge and things of that nature. So at Town Pond, there's going to be bands and hopefully some type of a drink tent and food trucks, and then, as Jerry was saying, when the parade turns down north and it'll end up by the schools, we're hoping there's going to be a place for all the antique cars are going to hang out for the day, and the motorcycles are going to hang out the day, so people can engage with them and see the cars and see that type of thing. So we're going to be hanging out. That'll happen. The parade is scheduled right now to start at 11.
11:01.
11:01, they're out the door. And then when the parade ends, approximately 2 hours later, around 1 o'clock, the celebration will kick off with Bell Forge. And I believe in my meeting with the DPW, I was saying that should conclude around 5 o'clock.
Okay. And do you know any of the bands or entertainers that will be down there?
We're talking, a lot of it is going to depend on numbers and things of that nature. We are talking about and tossing around the idea of possibly getting Buffalo Tom, which is a group kind of back from my day a little bit, that one of the members, I think two of the members, were actually graduates from Medfield High School. So we're trying, every decision that we make is trying to be Medfield centered. I would love it if we can get them. I don't know how realistic that is at the moment, but that would be a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I know at this point.
Okay.
Right.
So the more that I talk to you all, I'm just learning more and more about the magnitude of the event and the large scope of this celebration. So, tell us a little bit about, the legacy that you hope to leave on the town by holding this celebration and, wanting the people of Medfield to talk about this for years and years. What do you want them to talk about?
Right. Well, our one of my objectives is to have this be a, like, for me, once in a lifetime celebration in Medfield. Like everybody, as Bob speaks to from a historical standpoint, will be talking about, do you remember the 375 parade? That's what I'm looking for. I remember them from when I was a kid, and I'm looking for some child now to be saying years later, I remember the 375. And I also, like I had said before, I'm hoping that this parade will launch more community-based, more parades like this, maybe not of one of this magnitude, but to move going forward, that we're celebrating the arts, we're celebrating music, we're celebrating the people of this town, the history elements of this town, and to go from there. So I'm just looking for it to be kind of like a love letter to Medfield. That's kind of what's in my brain about it.
I love that. And Jerry and Bob, what are your hopes and dreams for the day of the event?
So I like to look back, and speaking of the arts, we have great musicians who have actually been part of this town for a long time, and painters, artists of all sorts, and those the deep foundation of the arts that we have had in the past have then actually been a great springboard to the arts currently, and then also the arts of the future. And just even from a musical standpoint, we have so many terrific visual artists, performing artists, musicians who are now known worldwide from Medfield. So it's nice to look back to see the foundation that was built. Loeffler was I think the first public school music teacher in the United States. And even just, from an educational standpoint, Ralph Wheelock was the first schoolmaster in Medfield, and I believe he was the first public school teacher in the United States of America. And America is celebrating 250 years. Medfield is celebrating 375 years, and we are the 43rd oldest town in Medfield.
Wow.
Which then also makes us
in Massachusetts.
Excuse me, Massachusetts, and also it makes us one of the oldest towns in the United States of America. What to celebrate? Absolutely, we should get out there and make a lot of noise.
And speaking of noise, we'd like to invite some of the local Medfield bands, even some of the rock bands. It doesn't matter. We have plenty of room in the parade for a lot of people to participate. And it doesn't have to be bands. It could be dancers, singers, whatever you like to do.
Garage bands, anything.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think we'd be remiss not to mention, is just talking about the history of music and arts in Medfield, Lowell Mason. And, he was the father of music education.
Yeah,
right?
I was incorrect.
Loeffler was,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to correct you.
No, I should change shoes here. Jerry, Katie, go ahead.
Oh, geez, no, I don't know
Yes,
a whole
but
lot
Lowell-
about him.
yeah,
but
Lowell Mason,
Lowell Mason,
absolutely.
yes, yeah.
And also the support of the town. We actually have the Lowell Mason House, which is actually currently being refurbished as a music center in this town. So we have a lot to celebrate. We do celebrate it. We don't bury our history.
Right.
And because of that brings people together. And just from the standpoint of history, I'd like to thank Richard de Sorga, because I have certainly been enjoying reading a lot of his writings in the past, which I have drawn from, and that which I actually recite incorrectly, I try to at least make it creative, so I'm quite sure that there are a few things that I get mixed up a little bit, but...
We'll have footnotes at the bottom of
There we
this
go.
that just say Richard de Sorga actually said that this.
That would be nice. You might want to do that for all of us, not just about history. Yeah.
And what is one thing about this celebration specifically that you are really excited for? Is there a particular band or a particular performer?
That's a great question
Yeah.
for you, Jerry. What
Well,
do you think? Because I'm curious myself. Because you seem excited about all of it.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching on YouTube parades from all over. I'm constantly looking to see these different bands. And I remember as a family going to Philadelphia and seeing the Mamas bands and just being blown away And the fact that we have one coming up from Philadelphia, the Aqua String Band from Philadelphia, Mama's Band, I'm really looking forward to that. They're just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Mary?
I mean, there's so many things that I'm looking forward to, but I love, like, just the event itself. I mean, I just love the working with the people and the funny anecdotes that are going to come out of the day, which I'm sure there will be many. And I'm just really looking forward to everybody really enjoying this parade and seeing all of our hard work and everything else. But just for the community coming together, I just want everybody to be packed in and happy and celebrating. That's all.
And I'll just enjoy, because I will be one of those marshals actually in the band, walking the parade route, swimming in all this great music and wonderful activity, and also seeing friends of the past and meeting new friends throughout the day.
Great. And my favorite thing about this is that you're holding it in October, not in the summer. I was in the UMass marching band, and we would march in various different places around the country, and boy, those summer parades are not fun, especially in a wool uniform. So thank you.
I bet.
You're welcome.
I bet.
I'm sure all those bands are going to be very
yeah,
thankful
yeah,
to you.
Yeah, and we're going to be fairly close to Halloween, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out a little bit. If people are going to want to do costumes, or
that'd be
sometimes the
fun.
motorcyclists like to dress up or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see.
And let's just think about 25 years from now. I'm sure we're going to have a 400th parade. Maybe one of those kids is going to be inspired watching the parade and saying, wow, this is incredible. How do I create something like this? What advice would you give to the organizers of the 400th anniversary celebration?
I'd say start early. Have a committee with a variety of different ages, from maybe a couple of high school kids, young parents, parents with kids who are in the middle school, the high school, those who are in college, and then also those who may have a little bit more time on their hands.
That's true. It is. It does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it's time well spent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say if there's any way to clone Marion and Tracy.
And
Onion
Jerry.
rings.
And Jerry.
And Jerry, yes. Yeah.
So cloning will have to
Cloning,
be invented
which
by then.
is a possibility.
Oh, it
if
can
we're
be
talking
done.
that can be done. It's just getting like we've been saying, it's a group of people with all the same objective that want to do this. I'm thankful that the group that we have together will do anything as long as it's fun. The minutes it's not fun, that's when
Right.
it gets yucky.
Yeah.
But as long as it's fun and you all have the same objective, but to Bob's point, start early and kind of get it going as soon as you can. It takes longer than you think.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything else that you'd like to add that maybe we didn't touch on during the rest of the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plan where you want to watch the parade from. Get there early. And I'll tell you right now, the area from the Peak House to downtown is prime location. Not easy to get to as far as parking goes, but if you don't mind walking a little bit, that's the perfect location, because that's the nice stretch where the bands are going straight, and they like that. I'm pushing that area.
That's actually a good point. Where can people park?
We are working on that.
Okay.
We've looked at all the different parking areas around town, and Tracy's contacting owners of buildings and whatnot, and getting permission for parking. So we'll put out a suggested parking
Great.
area list when
Right.
it comes closer to the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
We're working on it.
Okay.
It's a lot of there's a lot of private parking downtown, which we have to reach out and collaborate with those owners. There's not a lot of public. We're looking into having shuttles. There will be notification going out to all of the neighborhoods in the downtown area, because there will be people parking on those streets for the day and things of that nature. We're coming up with solutions.
And we'll also be coming up with letters to the people on South Street, Pound Street, 109, letting them know that come around 10 o'clock that morning on, they won't be able
They
to
won't
move
be able to
their
move.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. I mean, and then it'll roll open again. You know what I mean? But North Street, Frary, Upham, Those are going to be closed for the parade and the celebration, and they're going to stay closed for a minute. Whereas, that section of Main Street, once the parade comes through and pedestrians are safe, will open back up again. To Jerry's point earlier, the fire and police and DPW, who have a much better handle on all of this than we do, have been wonderful with collaborating with us and telling us what we want to do and what we don't want to do.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And Marion and Bob, are there any other closing thoughts that you have?
Well, I'd just like to say a couple of thank yous. First of all, to the Medfield Historical Society. They have a great collection that we have actually drawn from in the past in preparation for the 375th parade. And to Medfield TV, Katie, to you, to Damon, to Matt, and then also to the Medfield Foundation Incorporated. Again, just want to let everybody know that all donations and sponsorships are tax deductible to the extent allowable by law.
And Marion, can you remind all of our listeners how they can learn about the parade, get involved, become a sponsor?
Absolutely.
Where can they go?
Well, one of the things is they could go to Medfield TV and they could watch some of these fantastic interviews that our sponsors, some of our current sponsors, have been willing to have with you all about why they wanted to get involved and what they're doing. So I highly suggest that. We also have a website, which is Medfield375thparade.com, which talks to you about what our mission statement is, who our sponsors are up to this point, how you can donate. You could go directly to the Medfield Foundation site and look up the incentive of the parade if you'd rather do it that way, or certainly reach out to us. You could send us an email. I'm at Town Hall every day. Feel free to come in and say hello. Anything of that nature, and we'd appreciate any support that we have. And we are so thankful to the people that have supported us so far in terms of the sponsors. They've been fantastic and incredibly generous.
And I'm so thankful to all of you and the rest of the committee for putting this together. This is a huge undertaking, and I know that people are going to be talking about this for a long, long time. So thank you all for coming on to the show. And, please let Medfield TV know, or our viewers know, if you need any other help. We are here for you to help you out, and this is going to be an incredible celebration. So thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Katie.
Right. Thank you for spending this time with us on Voices of Medfield, brought to you by the MFI Legacy Fund. Matt Monroe is our editor, Damon Blankenship is our multimedia manager, and our producer is me, Katie Duval. If you'd like to be featured on the show, you can email us at info@medfield.tv or DM us on Facebook or Instagram at Medfield TV. You can listen to this and future episodes on Medfield TV's cable, YouTube, and Podbean channels. Subscribe and share with someone who calls Medfield home, and help us keep these stories alive. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Voices of Medfield.